Carla Budarak, and welcome to Behavior Communicates. This week I'm going to talk to you about work systems for students with higher cognitive abilities. I'm also going to talk to you about work systems for direct instruction. And the third thing I want to talk to you about today is how to use work systems in other situations. So first, the work system for the student who's doing things like worksheets could look something like this. They have separate work in file folders that they just take out. File folder number 1. They do it, and they may not put it right at their desk. They may put it, say, on a teacher's desk where everyone else puts the finished product. They have several things that they have to do at their desk, but that answers those 4 questions. What work? How much work? How do I know when I'm done? And what comes next should be written on the board or something else a little more abstract than with our students with lower cognitive abilities. We have students that have packets that are given to them that could be quite overwhelming. For their peers, a packet is fine, but for a student with autism, we might have to divide it up into 3 separate pieces so that it's more palatable and they can not be so overwhelmed with what they have to do. So what work would be these things, how much work, 3 of them, how do they know when they're done, put it on the teacher's desk or turn it in, and what comes next, something on their schedule. Sometimes kids get too overwhelmed with visually distracting assignments, and it's kind of a simple thing. Sometimes you just cut that assignment in half and put one in folder number 1 and the next one in folder number 2. Sometimes our general education classes really enjoy using a work system with their students. I've seen this lately many times, especially in a school that I've been recently visiting. It's a middle school, and the teachers have had the work system permanently printed on their whiteboards. What, how much, when done, what next, and all they have to do every day is just fill in the blank. All the students know what's expected, what they have to do, less questions, more productivity, and less stress for the class as a whole. Let me talk to you now about a work system for direct instruction. I can't tell you how many times I've seen a teacher come to a table going to do direct instruction with a child, and she brings goal work in a huge basket that looks something like this. The child sometimes is so overwhelmed they don't even want to do it, they just shut down. What would be more beneficial to the student is to take out only what the teacher is going to do and then have it visually out there for what he or she wants to present to the child. That way the child answers those 4 questions and it's not so overwhelming with something like this. And thirdly, there are other areas that you really do need a work system. Things like music, art, library, PE, convocations, the bus. There's nothing wrong with having a work system for those areas if your child needs it. A story that I would like to share with you about my nephew, he had a very difficult time going into PE. And as we got in there, it was echoey, it was loud, it was hard to hear, and there wasn't any visual information that he could get from what he was supposed to do. And he told me that he hated it there. He says, I want to leave, I don't like it here. And so I quickly just got a piece of paper and I wrote down a work system for him. I found out from the teacher what they were supposed to do. So I put on what work, and he was supposed to get a ball and find a partner and throw it back and forth. How much work? He was supposed to throw it back and forth 20 times. How did he know when he was done? When the 20th time came and what came next, he could go to his classroom. And actually what happened, as soon as I put a work system together for him, he completed the task completely with the other peers, and he actually stayed the whole time. He didn't have to go back to the class early. So I shared what I did with his PE teacher. She emailed me several months later and said, I have a new student in my classroom. I can't believe it. He actually takes a look at the notebook. She's answered the 4 questions for him, and he participates fully in PE now. What a wonderful transformation. Another story with my nephew, he was having difficulty on the playground. So we put together a work system for the playground where he knew what work he was able to go play on the slide and the monkey bars and the swings, how much work he could do all 3 things, and then he could go and explore in a particular area. How did he know when he was done? When the teacher blew the whistle, and what came next? They went inside. We also identified some students that he could play with that had red lanyards around their neck, and they could have a little game of tag. And we told him, put a work system in for tag, and he was terrific then after that with recess. Recess, PE, things that are so unstructured really do need a work system for some of our kids. So if you put one in place, they're going to be much calmer, have less anxiety, and actually do what you really want them to do. So, I've given you work systems for students with lower cognitive abilities and higher cognitive abilities. I've told you how to do it in direct instruction and in some other areas. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you like it, give it a thumbs up and share it with all your friends on Facebook and Twitter and all your other social media. Thank you so much for joining me here at Behavior Communicates, where I help you and your child or your student both get what you really want and what you really need. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.